Navigation is a crucial part of any website. Without it, our viewers cannot get from one page to the next or go to websites that we think are important to them. Navigation can be as simple as a few words with a hyperlink, but this movie is specifically going to talk about sets of links that are going to act together as one navigational unit. This happens to be a template that I created in Dreamweaver. You can do the same thing by going to New File. You could ask for any one of these templates. This particular list of navigation, as I select the links and look over my source code, it has originated from a list. So I have a UL, which is the beginning of the list. Each individual link is surrounded by this tag called LI and the ending LI tag, LI meaning list item. So every single link that's part of this becomes a list item. And we're going to code this so if you have any, if you haven't worked with lists before in the past, it should make sense. This is the best practice way to set up navigation, regardless of your desire to have it be vertical or horizontal. This origination from a list is the way to go. I'm going to pop over to the Madison College website where you can see many different lists, many different types of navigation groups rather. And as I look at their source code, just to confirm that, here is a chunk called top menu. It's in a div tag, and I have my list tag, my UL, and oops, I didn't mean to do that. Let me close that quickly. I have list items, and each one of these list items has a link inside of it. And so I have a My Madison College, calendar, employee email, and so on. And sure enough, here we have my Madison College, calendar, employee email. So that particular list that we were looking at in the source code is rendering this chunk. So for each separate list of navigation that you want on your page, you will create a separate HTML list of navigation. So in order to do that, I'm going to come back over to Dreamweaver. You do not have to use Dreamweaver. You could use Phrase. You could use Text Edit, any Notepad for that matter. The construction of the list is not really a big deal. There's some simple code, simple HTML that should be a breeze if you've worked with it before. I'm using Dreamweaver because it's fast. I'm in the design view, and as I look at my properties, I have two choices to create lists: an unordered, which will give me bullet points, and an ordered list, which would give me either alphabetical or numerical order. So make sure if you're having Dreamweaver assist you with this that you are asking for the unordered list. I want the ability to be able to move this list around and maybe differentiate this list from others that I have on my page. So in addition to creating the list of links, I'm also going to put this into a div tag. So I'm going to draw an AP div on my page, and I'll just quickly name this, how about nav? Okay. And as you see my source code developing, div with the ID of nav. That's all that's happened here in creating that div in the design view. So if you're coding by hand, you can continue to do so. Okay, well now that I have that div inside of it, I will ask for my unordered list. I'm presented with a bullet point, and I will just populate this with items that I think might be good navigation. After each one, I'll hit the return key. What else might they want to know? Directions and maybe a home. As you're developing this, do look in your source code and confirm, especially if you haven't used lists very often in the past, that you have started with the UL tag unordered. When the list ends, you have ended that with the /UL unordered list. And for each of the items on your list, they are a list item. So LI, end that UL before you go on to the next one. So the code itself is pretty straightforward. Now, it's not going to be navigation unless it's a link. So I will highlight each one by one and move down to my properties. I'm not going to worry about this actually going anywhere in particular right now. So the pound sign will make it feel and act like a link without it giving me any errors if I do click on that. If you're coding by hand, it's simply an href tag with the pound sign as a placeholder. So I will continue to highlight each one, enter a pound sign in the link field, and that is it. So I have my list. Each of the list items is a link, and the whole list is inside of a div tag that I have ID'd with nav. So pretty straightforward.